and welcome to the Feel Your Joy Show, here for your enjoyment. I am so honored to be doing my first documentary on my beloved country, Liberia. As you all may know, July 26th marks the Independence Day of the Republic of Liberia. Liberia owes its establishment to the American colonization in 1816, where free slaves from America came to Liberia. So for this documentary, you have to stay tuned because you're going to be hearing some personal stories about the Civil War, views on Liberia, and of course, the history of our country. So stay tuned and enjoy this documentary. Once again, happy July 26th. Next up, we have a young man who is so passionate about education, and he also has a nonprofit organization. Our next guest is a very young, smart, educated man by the name of Siah Gaye. Siah has a strong desire to go back to Liberia, so we're going to hear more about him. Siah, how are you?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good. Hey, the boy's all swagged out, has his khaki pants on, his hat, red, white, and blue, representing, of course, our wonderful country, Liberia. So Siah, take me back to Liberia. How was the lifestyle? I do understand you were very young. You came to the United States at the age of 10, you said. But tell me back, if you do remember, how was Liberia growing up?
So I grew up actually being raised by my aunt and my uncle. I grew up in Monrovia in the city. And I remember just being very young and growing up with my cousin, of course, who was older than me and kind of like taught me like the way around, and we would play outside a lot. It's very, you know, in Liberia, kids usually just like play outside, like
right?
Run around, play soccer.
Yes.
I was big on soccer growing up. Like, it's all I did.
That's like every African boy, so let's be honest.
Yeah, so it was a change coming to the U.S. because I remember being in elementary school where, you know, if you act up in class, you get a whooping in class.
So let's be honest, did you get a lot of whipping in school?
Me, no, I was always a good kid in school because.
Can your mother attest to this? Are you sure? Are you just like putting her front for the camera?
So the unique thing about me is I was actually not raised by my mom. I was raised by my aunt, like I said, and I was born in '88 when the war actually had first started. So for me, my mom saw it as the best option to send me to live with my aunt, who was on a better side of town, and I could have a better lifestyle living with her. So I never actually knew my mom or like grew up with her until I came to the United States.
Wow, I did not know that, because right now Siah is such a mother's boy. Yeah. If you know Auntie Delisha, shout out to you. Siah is a mom's boy. He cares so much about his mother. So it's pretty interesting to see that you were never really grew up with your mother. Was your aunt? Is your aunt still in the United States to this day, or where is she at?
No, my aunt who raised me actually recently passed away last year.
I'm sorry, my condolences.
Lucinda.
I have an aunt named Lucinda too, as well.
And my mom went to Liberia last year for her funeral.
Okay, well, my condolences, Siah. All right, so I know you're very young. Do you remember anything about the war? I'm trying to take us back to it. Do you remember like the gunshots, the rebels coming?
So what I remember was there was a very strict curfew that my aunt set, where me and my cousin had to be in the house by 7 o'clock, because if you were outside, who knows what's going to happen to you. So that's kind of how I grew up. Was you were allowed to play outside until about 7, and you had to come in the house, and we would pray when we wake up in the morning, we would pray when we go to sleep, that we make it home.
Right, prayer always works. So you went to live with your auntie, and then when you lived there, how did you come to the United States? Like, what was the process of you being here?
So my mom came to the U.S. before I did, and she got married to her high school sweetheart, actually, David, who actually came to the U.S. on like a visa for school, and he ended up sending for her. They got married. Them getting married allowed both of them to be able to send for me to come as her son. So they were, you know, putting in all the paperwork, but they had because I was such a young kid, they had to find a relative that I could come with to the United States. So that process took a long time, and then eventually when I was 10, I remember my auntie kept telling me like, they're in the process, they're in the process, they're in the process. And eventually when I was 10, I was able to come here with another one of my aunties to the United States.
Awesome. So tell me about your assimilation process, because you're fresh off Africa, coming to a new country, the new world. So how was your experience growing up here in the United States?
It was very different. You know, I came out here and like kids didn't want to play soccer, so it was odd for me.
Hey.
I had to learn how to play basketball very quickly. It was very different. The U.S. and Liberia actually have a very rich connection.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, when I show them like the flag, they're like blown away by how similar the flag is, and they don't understand why. So I constantly had to educate people on like where I'm from and how it was like assimilated to begin with. And a lot of people are like, oh wow, so slaves actually went back to Africa and they landed in Liberia, and like this is how this all came about, and that's why the flag looks the way it does. I'm like, pretty much. That's the reason why. So it was a constant eye opener for a lot of people that I encountered when I first got here, and the assimilation process wasn't too difficult because Liberia is so similar to United States. Like when I had to learn about the Constitution, I was like, okay, well,
I know that.
I get that.
Yeah.
You know, so you pick up on a lot of things because of the similarities.
Awesome, great. So we all heard about the Ebola crisis in Liberia, and it's unfortunate. What was your view on it, and how did you feel about it, knowing that your people were suffering from such devastating disease?
So
or virus.
There's a lot of viruses out in the world, right? Like I think there's an outbreak in Hawaii right now, and people travel to Hawaii like
all the time,
every 6 months, right?
Right.
So I think it was huge because it wasn't just in Liberia, it was in Sierra Leone, it was in Nigeria, it was like the entire Western Africa was being affected by this virus. So it was made into a huge deal, and it became a huge deal in America when someone from America actually died, and it was like, oh crap.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden it's the only thing on the news in America when like there's viruses that's happening right now that no one's talking about, but an American hasn't died from it, so it's not something to talk about. So I feel like it was blown way out of proportion. No one's talking about it now.
Because there's claims that it has been managed, like there's no more Ebola in Liberia. That's probably why they're not talking about it, don't you think? Or?
Well, yes and no. So I say yes because yes, they've treated it. They've been able to like radically get rid of the virus, but at the end of the day, it could pop up in another country.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
It can end up in Israel. It can end up on another part of the world. It can end up anywhere, right? Because it ended up in America, it ended up spreading to other parts of the world. So just because you've contained it in a certain area doesn't mean it can't happen somewhere else, right?
That's true. You're absolutely right. And did you get involved in terms of like packaging medical supplies to ship to Liberia? Like, did you involve anything here while you were here doing the crisis?
So I didn't specifically do anything myself, but I did donate to organizations that were sending things to Liberia.
And that's good enough. That's good. At least you're donating. You're involved. So that's awesome in some parts. So what would you say, or how do you think our country is doing right now? Based on what you know, how far do you think we have come as Liberians?
I think Liberia's actually come very far, just looking at like where we were before versus where we are now. Obviously, we're not just like a war-torn country completely. It's going to take a lot of rebuilding for such a country, but at least you can go to Liberia and know that like there's not war everywhere you go.
True.
Right? So that's the biggest difference. The other difference is like now, other countries, like I recently read in the news that the president of Israel is actually going to be visiting several different countries in Africa and forming partnerships with them, and one of those countries being Liberia.
That's good.
He's concerned about. And the key thing there is other countries are strengthening their connection and their ties with Western Africa, Nigeria, Liberia, and all these different countries, and it's going to promote a lot of growth. It's going to promote a lot of opportunities for the economy to rise in those different parts of the world.
Great, well said. So I know you're very passionate about education. And what is your view about Liberian education? Do you think we're getting the proper education, especially for our next generation?
Are you talking here, or are you talking
in Liberia? We're talking about Liberia. How do you think the education system in Liberia is going? Do you think the students in Liberia are doing well in terms of being educated? Like, what's your view on that?
So I haven't been back. I do plan on going back, but I haven't been.
But I'm sure you do year stuff though, right?
So I haven't seen like firsthand what that looks like. I can only assume that it's only gotten stronger than where it was before.
Okay.
So.
All right, so I know you're big on education, so tell us a little bit more about what you're doing right now. I know you have your organization called, is it EdFit?
Yes.
EdFit, so tell us more about what that is and what it entails.
So I recently started a scholarship-based organization, and what it is I partner with Mission Oaks Recreation and Parks District to essentially, they have a summer camp where they do health and wellness for kids and try to get kids to like be active and lose weight and stay in shape and eat healthy and grocery shop with their parents and think about healthier options and all those things. And the program has grown so much that when I reached out and said I was looking to start a scholarship based on, high school students that are performing well, they said, well, what if we use the high school students to be facilitators for this program that we have, because it's grown so much, we're not able to contain these kids half the time. We need a little more staff on hand, and we don't have the budget to hire more staff. So I seen that as a perfect opportunity, because I wanted a scholarship that was focused around promoting education, and then they tied the fitness piece to it.
Oh, I know, I like it. It's pretty catchy.
They tied the fitness piece to it, and now basically we're gonna have a banquet at the end of this month where nine high school students that have a 3.0 or better GPA are going to be earning a 250 scholarship.
Nice.
Which is basically like a stipend for a summer job, basically. So they're gaining work experience, they're gaining, they're learning responsibilities, and then at the same time they're earning a scholarship too. So.
That's great. Do you plan to give or let's say broaden your scholarship to other people in Liberia? I know you said high school students here. What about high school kids in your country?
So the important aspect of what I'm doing is I'm learning what it takes and how it works to run an organization. Right?
Okay.
I'm learning the foundation of all the moves that need to be made and all the boxes that need to be checked in order to successfully run a nonprofit. As I'm learning that process, I'm also learning international business and what that looks like. How would I be able to take what I'm doing and apply it to the world, apply it to Liberia? I'm also looking at currency exchange rates, right? So, for example, if you take $50,000 and you take it to Japan, that's $5 million. A lot of people don't know that.
No, I did not know. I'm one of the first.
The reason why Nike has to sell these shoes for $200, even though they made it for $10, is because in the U.S. it would cost so much, right? So Nike, I said, well, you gotta look at it like this. If I'm gonna die, that's the one way I want to die.
Being rich?
No.
Just kidding.
If I'm gonna die doing something great for
with a purpose,
for my country.
Right. And you're doing great already, Siah. You're getting your feet wet, and I can't wait for you to really start swimming and then benefiting our country, Liberia. Thank you so much. Any last views, thoughts on Liberia and how we're doing? Any the success, the downfalls, anything?
I would just encourage Liberians that are out here to give someone a great life out there, right?
Right.
It takes you a lot to make a great life out here. It doesn't take much to make a great life out there.
You're the man. Make a great life for yourself. Thank you, Siah, so much for having this interview with me. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Not only did I have the privilege of interviewing my guests, but I also got to hear their point of views, and this is what they had to say.
My name is Siah Gaye. I'm currently doing this documentary on behalf of Ophelia and on behalf of Liberia, just to share my views on how I feel about the country. If you know anything about me, you know I love Liberia with a passion, everything about it. I have plans on going back home and, you know, being a part of something there and helping the economy, enriching the economy in whatever way I can. Right now I'm currently working on my MBA, and the next course I'm taking in my MBA is international business, because I want to learn about how the world works outside the United States, all the different things that influence Liberia and what their influence is on the rest of the world, and how to improve the economy on that side of the world. So I'll be traveling to Liberia next year just to see what it looks like since I've been there, and I look forward to it. So.
And that's it. I hope you had a wonderful time watching the July 26th documentary. Once again, happy Independence Day to all my fellow Liberians and friends of Liberia all around the globe. As we gather to celebrate the 169 years anniversary of our homeland, let us not forget who we are and where we come from. Let us remind ourselves that though we may be from many tribes, we're still one nation. Our Liberian people are proud, resourceful, patriotic, despite all the hardship and horror of the Civil War. We continue to rise and put our nation first. The future holds nothing but possibilities if we just work together for the common good of Liberia. Long live the Republic of Liberia, and long live the Liberian people. Happy July 26th. My 26th on you all.